bearded Bama bushcrafter. Today, me and Chris are in the woods with our metal detectors, and we are at an old home site that some cool things have been found here in the past. I'm looking for my little. That's with me, buddy. Hey, Chris, you got that little pick with you? I do. Okay. I was making sure I wasn't losing it. Excuse me. So far, we have not found treasure to retire on, but it's been a while since I've been able to do some metal detecting. And Chris wanted to get out. He's got a real nice metal detector, and wanted to get out and use it some. But so far, we found part of an old, looks like the bottom of a beer can. That might be a Skull Copenhagen cap. And then some real old pop tops. This is definitely an old one. I remember these from back in the day. So we're keeping this stuff because that's, you know, we'll pull it out of here for one thing and come back through. We won't be hitting it again. I'm gonna get back over here to this little spot and see what, I've got some good tone here, so we'll see what's going on. All right, this is cool. This is neat. Now, it's an old shotgun shell. The brass, the primer was hit. Looks like a 20 gauge. I'll clean that up in a little while, and we'll see if that's Federal Winchester. Probably someone one time was in here squirrel hunting. I know at one time back over this way was an old rodeo corral. Man, that has been a long time ago. And before that, there was an old house that my cousin said sat here, and this old black lady lived in it. And that old well there was right at her back porch, if I'm remembering what he told me. And he remembers that being here. I may be having my story mixed up because he's told me so many stories. But he did say there was an old house here. So that's a cool place to get in and look around. And so far that's a good find. I like finding that. Chris is letting me use this little pinpoint detector. And man, that thing it'll put you right there on it. So we'll continue on. All right, we have come on to something here with Chris's metal. Man, looks like a tape measure. So we're trying not to damage it. And our tools are primitive for such a, what is this, a fragile dig? So we'll see what we dig up here. All right, well, I don't think we're going to retire on this. Trying to, looks like part of a tape measure or an old pencil sharpener. We're on something again in another hole. Maybe this will be our retirement. All right. We're just finding bits and pieces of junk, but from what I've learned with my past metal detector, I used to be in it more, and then of course, like anything else, you can kind of get out of it. But it's fun to get out here. Chris found this. Looks like part of a magnet, which I think this metal around it was hitting, showing him some tone. And my cousin had found some coins that had holes punched in them. He was telling me about it. He said that back in the day, that Native Americans and slaves would take those coins and punch holes in them, and they would wear them around their ankles. And it was a kind of a, I guess a talisman would be the word, and they would try to ward off evil spirits. I know here in the South there's a lot of old superstition things. I know in one of the videos I talked about the Hank Blue, and I can remember hearing things growing up from some of my older, especially my aunts. They would tell us some crazy stories about things they believed. Oh, that did not feel good. That went right across my earlobe. My metal detector, I got over in an area and we thought we were fixing to have an episode of Skinwalker Ranch. It started doing real crazy things, and I would hold it up in the air and it would stop at this one point, and then it would beep, 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 and it would stop. Beep, beep, and I'm like, why is it doing that? So I didn't know if we were fixing to encounter a skinwalker or not. Here's an old deer rub from this pine tree. That's an old one. Old tree died. What's interesting about this part of Alabama is into the early middle part of the 1800s, there were still Indians. This was... All right, Chris, I've got good tone on mine right here. We need to check this spot out. That noise, mine, I've usually found some coins or something when I start hearing that. So I'm gonna mark this little spot. And the Indians had outposts. Fort Mitchell, which is not far from here, was a military fort. I think 1812, 1814. Didn't see much, as far as military activity, but it was kind of like the final civilized area before they came further west into the Indian Territory, and which they actually got into New Orleans, which I think would be the biggest city that was west of here at that time in the southeast. Yeah, definitely need to check that one out. So back in the day, we used to get out and we found a lot of surface hunting. We'd find artifacts, pottery, shards, and things. We never would go into known burial sites and dig. I mean, that's basically going into a graveyard and, grave robbing. So, no, we didn't do stuff like that. But getting into areas like this where there's a lot of leaf litter. Oh, there's an old Budweiser bottle. I like finding stuff like this. You don't see these old bottles. Got the old Anheuser-Busch Eagle and this old twist top. I believe these bottles were up into the 80s. Not 100% sure. If you know, comment and throw your 2 cents worth in. But getting back as far as surface hunting, when you have a metal detector and you're doing what we're doing here, of course we do dig some, but this is helping us find things. Chris looks like a Jack Russell Terrier over there in a foxhole. He's got something over here. Let's go see what's going on. All right, well, Chris and I dug down and we found what we believe is an old button. It's bent and it's kind of exciting. We'll have to clean it up, and that looks like that would be copper or a brass, wouldn't it?
Is it soft? Can you bend it?
I can't, but I'm sure we could, like with a pair of pliers.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's like some
Oh, I don't know, man. This is silver, shiny. It's got a little shine to it. I have to clean it up and see how it's going. These little things. The pinpointer. And my metal detector. Chris, what's yours called? A Mind Lab?
Mind Lab Equinox.
And mine's called the Dewan 230. This is nice. we found what we believe was part of a big old sheet of tin, probably off of the roof, but it just got to be too much to try to dig out. I want to show you how this feature, it's an old berm. It just shows you how much things have changed over time. You can see right here, this hump running all the way through there. Back in the day, the farmers would build these up to help prevent erosion. See how this little hump is right here. Till as I walk up, and I walk down. But it goes all the way through the woods. I have a couple of these on my property. But at one time, this was agriculture also. So there's no telling what they're liable to find in these areas. People were here, and there's still people here to... Oh, hold on. This is what I saw. Old pots. Plant pots. It's probably something my cousin had growing up here. He grew all kind of plants and little trees. Yeah. That looks like a... I can't think of the name of it right now. There's some maples here. Just time gone by. I can remember when I was a little boy coming out here. When that old... It was somewhere in this area. Can't tell it now. The size of these pines. But the rodeo corral. And I can remember, it seemed like they would do some... They'd be roping and running barrels. Barrel racing. Yep, old buck has rubbed here. It's been a while and it's healed over. That's on a maple. That's a native red maple. Acer rubrum, if I remember correctly. Acer is the maple. Ooh, about to jab me. As it gets a little cooler, we're going to come out here and do some camping. We're in an area where, I want to talk about Bigfoot, where we've heard some things, and not far from here, I was about 14, and I had my motorcycle license, and me and a friend were riding motorcycles, and he got ahead of me, and as I came up, he was stopped on the side of the road, and he had this real fearful look on his face, and he told me that a Bigfoot ran across the road in front of him. And I believed him. How he was acting and how he looked, something happened. He saw something, because he had a look of like fear, trauma in his eyes. And I remember that to this day. And that's not far. As crow flies, it might be 2 miles. On this main road up here, we were rucking back during the late winter, early spring. It was real cold, and it was just 3 of us. And we heard, that was the loudest tree knock I have ever heard. And we stopped and we looked at each other, and I said, there's no doubt that y'all heard that. And we just all looked at each other, and immediately dogs started barking. And I've always heard, with the activity of a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, dogs get to barking. If that was a person hitting that tree, and not saying it wasn't, but it was real early, just after daybreak. It wasn't deer season, wasn't turkey season. But people live all out in these woods. Often these black roads and dirt roads, so it could have been someone just popping a tree one morning. But go further west, about 3 or 4 miles on another road, I was in a deer stand one morning, heard a tree knock over there, and it's not a tree breaking, it's not a woodpecker knock, it's a distinctive sound of a tree trunk being struck with another piece of wood. And once you hear it, you know what you're hearing. And over that way also, but a little closer, I was jogging one day and I heard a whistle. And it was just one quick, it wasn't a real, it kind of just, it went for a second or two, and then it stopped, and it was on the other side in the woods beyond this cornfield. And it was real early in the morning, just right after daybreak. And that was on into the early summer. And that's been some 3 or 4 years back when that happened. We're just finding a bunch of junk. I think this is some copper tubing that we found. We dug into a hole that had good tone and good number, and sometimes it feels like something's in the ground that's running from us. We never could find it, and then the tone went away. So much to learn, and just understanding your equipment. So, I believe we're going to do the weather's starting to get a little cooler. Man, I got my long pants on today. Been wearing shorts forever. But, man, look at that beautiful bluebird sky. Just the evenings, just feeling the fall. Man, it's just gotten nice. Like right now, it's pleasant. Nice breeze up in the tops of the pines. Hear those geese? And starting to feel like deer season. Deer season kicks in for my part of the woods next. What's today? October 1st? October 15th, I believe, is opening day for the bow season. And I gotta get ready for that. Man, time just slips up on me. You got anything over there, Chris? It kind of seems like we're getting out of the area where we were.
Yeah, we're not hitting near as much. We were hitting pretty good back there, weren't we?
Yeah.
Might follow this,
that deer trail?
yeah.
Yeah, we found a deer path and just trying to. My metal detector is acting funny. Maybe I need to buy a new one.
Got something right here.
Uh-oh. Let's go see what that is. All right, Chris is back over going that way. We have learned a little bit here this evening with the numbers on his. It's a motorcycle or something. His metal detector. And what we're finding is a bunch of junk. So we've set a certain number that it's going to have to hit for us to start digging, because we're wasting a lot of time and energy just pulling up old nails and other things. Don't get me wrong, it's fun finding stuff, but it kind of starts getting like just, digging, stooping, bending over, and I guess this is a spider web or something. So my metal detector, the batteries are, or B, I don't think the machine, it's just, I think my batteries are shot. All right, there's something over in the woods behind me there. It's probably a deer. Definitely something big. I could hear it walking. It'd be right over my left shoulder there. All right, that's probably a deer. A lot of deer sign in here. A lot of poop and rubs. And so that's just odd that a deer be approaching with the wind blowing that way. They do, deer are curious. So, all right. I've got to get new batteries for my metal detector. Man, it's such a beautiful evening. Look at that beautiful bluebird sky once more. It's beautiful. It just feels like fall. Ready for this break from the heat. You get any good numbers? 17. Yeah, we've been noticing with his 17, 19, 20, we're pulling up bottle caps, pop tops, rusty nails. It looks like we found part of a sardine can. We'll get back to the truck. We'll try to figure all that stuff out best we can. You said 23, 24? Yeah. What the heck, huh? See, mine just did right here. Mine's working again.
You got that pinpointer?
Yep.
I set mine on that higher, different settings. Let's see, I got to do that.
I think my metal detector has become a skinwalker detector. It's just laying there.
It's detects the. It's called balancing.
Chris has got a high tech. What do you call it? Minecraft?
Mine Lab.
Mine Lab.
Mine Lab. It's an Equinox 800.
And you got the little Mine Lab pinpointer.
Mm-hmm. Mine Lab pinpointer.
That thing can go fully submerged. You can go scuba diving with Chris's. Oh man, getting old, Chris. So here we are metal detecting, in case y'all didn't know that's what we're doing in this video. What in the world? Oh, that's yours. We got all kind of bells and beats going. We're finding all kind of rubs here. That looks like a plum tree, isn't it? No, wax myrtle. No,
Yeah,
plum tree.
like plum to me, but it doesn't look like a jigsaw.
I think it's a tree.
It's a tree. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a tree. So we're heading over here. Just don't let me walk inside the place. Sorry, man. I'm hung. Man, this stuff hurts when it comes back at you at 4,000 miles per hour, the speed of light. Here we are. This old abandoned building. I wonder who lives here. What creature might exist at this place?
Not originally here.
No, he had this moved here from up on the main highway. This was built in 1890. Watch out, there's a wasp. Oh my goodness, look at them wasps right there, boy. Woo! Look at them.
Oh.
Hey, I'm not walking that way. You want to walk that way and shoo them off, Chris? Alright, we just... Man, this old building is a wasp. Good Lord, look at these jokers up there. Man, these things, that is a nasty horde of wasps. They're down here in the bottom. Chris walked through there and I saw, activity, and I was like, hey, and then all of a sudden, boom, see, they're coming out. That thing's probably full. That old beam is just one huge, man, them things hurt. That's some serious enough pain right there when a red wasp gets you. And the thing about them wasps, they're not like honeybees. A honeybee stings you and it's over for the honeybee, but those wasps, and man, they just pop you and pow, wow. And, whoo, it hurts. We're going to have to take care. I'm coming up here some, and we're going to do some cleaning up just to, have a little place to hang out and enjoy the old building once again for some time. I don't know what's going to happen to all this stuff, but it's pretty cool to have permission right now to hang out on it and around it and just enjoy it. But you got to be careful with them wasps, man. That's two big old nests of them things up there.
21.
So this was a 21. Maybe an old gas can?
What it looks like to me. Oh, you talking to you, camera?
No, I'm talking to you.
Yes, kind of looks like Wow, I got it a few times, it looks like.
Gas cans used to be metal. But then the government said they need to be plastic. Right? When the government said that? They have to have all them special nozzles on them.
Oh, the nozzles are great.
You love them?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. This is kind of worrying me there.
I love them just like I trust the government.
So, what we're going to do, we're going to keep on. We'll have to come back and do this again. We got to find us some more spots, right? We're heading to the beach. That's where we're going to go and we're going to strike it rich down there. The beach. Okay, so we did not find anything that we can retire and move to an exotic place. Did we, Chris?
Not unless you can do it with junk.
Yeah. One man's junk is another man's treasure. We need to find that man. Yeah. This is what we found today. We found some pop tops, pull tabs. This is either part of a skull can or the bottom of a Coke can. What you think, Chris? This is a radiator cap or something. Maybe off, like Chris was saying, a tractor. 20 gauge shot shell. Yeah, that's 20 gauge, isn't it?
Yeah,
or is that 12?
I think that's 20.
Okay. Some copper tubing. And this was a piece of a bolt or something. We found it in the driveway. Nails, parts of nails. Some aluminum. Brass cap off shock shell. I guess so. This right here we think is a button.
You got chicken?
He don't have chicken, but we're hearing some weird noise. So we're hearing some. That's chicken? Must be some chickens on that next property.
Yes, sir.
Strange stuff we hear. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up today. Chris, you got anything you want to say? He's just like the boys. He don't want to say nothing. It's so funny, man. I'll do that to Zane and I'll go, okay. Jenny's the same way. All right, well, this looks like part of a old gas can. So we won't find this stuff again. Beer bottle. I don't know what year these were. Please don't litter. 14. 1 plus. You know, Chris, I remember some of these.
Super old, but it's got the embossed thing.
Yeah,
they don't
the old Anheuser-Busch.
Anymore.
Nope, they don't make stuff like that anymore. It's all aluminum. Neat little finds. We think this is part of a sardine can. Like that's the corner. It's got some kind of labeling on it. Need to clean this up and see what that is. Button cap or something. But that's pretty neat looking. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap this video up. So, hope y'all enjoy it. Go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment. And subscribe. Or don't do it at all. Nah. Anyway, appreciate y'all who are following along. Hope you enjoyed this little adventure. We're going to probably be doing some more of these. Hopefully I can upgrade with the metal detector. Probably what I'm going to have to do is just get new batteries. Chris knows what I'm talking about. All right. Y'all take care. We'll see you later.